Okay. So last class we have seen to system class methods and what is dot operator, what is out, what is println, what is print. I have shown you very clearly. And also, okay, so and also system class. Yeah, Rajshri, can you mute? Okay, so these system class methods we have seen. Now, let's understand this entire program. Okay, so what is meant by this public and so what is the class? And we already seen class naming conventions we have seen and how to write the class and file extension we have seen and all these basics are done. So if anybody have doubts, please let me know so that I can explain again. But basics are very, very crucial. First classes, please do not neglect them and read until you are perfect on those areas. So without basics, it's very difficult. Okay. Yeah. So now today we'll discuss on the modifiers. So what are modifiers? So let me show you. And when you are creating a class, there are two types of modifiers we have seen. See that? Modifiers. Class name below, you have modifiers. There are two types of modifiers. One is access modifiers, non-access modifiers. First of all, what is modifiers? Modifier is an identifier. So basically, which gives permissions and some changes you cannot do that. So there are different type of modifiers we have, and we have two types. One is access modifiers. These round radio buttons are there, right? These are all called access modifiers. So what is meant by access modifiers? So access modifiers means which defines the scope of a class, method, variable, and constructor. Where to use, where not to use. So that scope is defined by these four keywords. See, for a class, only public package is applicable and private protected are not applicable. That means there is no private class, no protected class. Your class can be either public or package. Package is nothing but a default. So only these two types of classes will be there. No private class, no protected class. That means private and protected are not applicable for class. Only public class will be there. Default or package class will be there. So these are the access modifiers means. So the accessibility scope of any entity. Entity means a class, method, variable, and constructor. So these four entities where you can use, where you cannot use is decided by these access modifiers. So we'll dive into these access modifiers. Let's move on to the non-access modifiers. Non-access modifiers doesn't related to permission, but it just change the functionality of that entities. When you use these keywords, abstract, final, static, the meaning of that entity will change. That's it. Other than that, no permission will be given by abstract to final or static. Nothing. It's not related to permission. Permission related is these four only. That is the access modifiers and non-access modifiers. So let's go and so you already know our blog. So everything you can find under labels. So if you want anything, you can just go to program keywords. I'm discussing program keywords now. Okay, so this is the program keywords. So this is all done. How to create a project class we have seen, and how to, so first program, how to run. I have shown you all this is done, right? So we have completed this part. And now the class Java class also I have completed. What is mean by Java class? How to give the naming conventions of a Java class. Now we are discussing this part. So modifiers are just reserved keywords in Java. These are reserved keywords. So when you add these keywords, the meaning will change for that entity. So two types of modifiers, non-access modifier and access modifiers. So non-access modifier, they don't control the access levels. They just provide the functionality. So what are the non-access modifier keywords? Final, static, abstract, volatile, transient. So these are the non-access modifier keywords. And what is meant by access modifier keywords? Access modifier keywords sets the accessibility scope of a classes, interfaces, variables, methods, constructors. So that's the access modifier purpose. So I already mentioned we have a default, private, protected, public. Default is nothing but a package. Default, another name is package. So we have seen here a package, right? This package is nothing but, we call that a default. We call that default. So, and what is meant by a public access modifier? Let's discuss first public access modifier. A public access modifier declarations are visible everywhere. If you declare anything public, that is visible and you can use that entity anywhere in your project, even outside project also. That is the public permission. Publicly you can access everywhere in the entire project, even another project also. That's why, that's the meaning of public. Where you can apply this public, you can create a public class. You can create a public interface. You can create a public method, public variable, public constructor you can create. You can declare all of them public. So what are all the things you can declare public? You can declare methods public. You can declare variables, classes, constructors, and interfaces. You can declare them as a public. If you declare them as a public, you can access them from anywhere. No restriction on this public. Okay. So example, real-time example, in the, everybody is having a Facebook, right? In the Facebook, so these are the statuses. Okay, where, so your status is visible to all or not, you can set with this public keyword. These are the statuses. Public means, so you can, anyone on the Facebook or off the Facebook, they can see you. That's the meaning of public. So same here also in Java. Okay. Then see, they made a public class, public variable, public method. So this is the public means. Everything you can make public. If you make public, so this class I can use in some other place also. And I can use this variable also some other place. I can use this method also some other place. That's the public method, public variable, public class. You can make a constructor also public. See, I can access this class here in another class, because so it is, animal class is a public class. So animal, so this I'll tell you all this. Okay. So see, I'm accessing now this is I'm accessing in another class. How it is possible? because you made a public. You are giving a permission for each entity, class, variable, method. You are giving a permission with the public keyword. Okay. If you declare it as a public, what is meant by that? You can access everywhere. That's the meaning of public. Okay. So any questions?
No.
Before going for the next one.
No. Public access.
Others? Anybody having questions? Concerns?
Good, Ramesh.
Yeah, fine. So let's move on. So next, the second one is a default access modifier. So default access modifier means if you do not specify any modifier keyword for these entities, for class, method, variable, constructor, and interface, then that is a default access modifier. So default access modifier means if you don't specify any modifier for the class, methods, variables, constructors, and interfaces, then that will be treated as a default permission for that class, method, variable, and constructor and interface. For public, easily you can identify because the public keyword is there. Then how to recognize a default? Default means default you won't write. Default means nothing. You won't write any keyword. Just class before, nothing will be there. Then that will be treated as a default. Your variable line, there is no modifier keyword. Then that will be treated as a default variable. And your method name before, your method line. So that mainly starts with the access modifier only, anything. So any entity starts with the access modifier only. So if I'm specifying access modifier means you need to remember 4. Public, default, private, protected. Wherever I'm specifying access modifier, you need to remember these 4. And which permission you want to give, replace that access modifier with these keywords. You know already, everywhere if you want, replace the access modifier with public. Then default, don't write any keyword. Just leave it blank, access modifier place. Then that will be treated as a default. Then where you can access this default access mode? Okay, I have given default. So modifier for the class, method, variable, and constructor, and access modifier, for the interface. So where can you use that? You can use them in the same package in any class, not outside the package. So default means the scope is reduced, understand. Within the package only, where you created this default class or default method or default variable or default constructor, you can use them in the same package in any class, but not outside the package. See this real example. If you make this status visible for friends, that means it's a default, then your status will be only visible for your friends only. Not your friends, not everyone on the Facebook. That's the meaning of friends means. This friends is nothing but a default access modifier they have given. That's why only your friends can see that, the status, not by anybody else. Not your friends, or not everyone on the Facebook. Okay. Yeah. See here. See, class before nothing is there. Method name before nothing is there. This is the default. So, see now this is how you can create a, see, class, then class name. So that's a default access modifier, how you can tell that. And variable, see in the variable, right? So this is the access modifier. Say I haven't given anything, that's a default. Then static, then data type. So variable name and value. See, this is the syntaxes. You need to remember these syntaxes. So take all these syntaxes, stick on your walls, and so that you can keep watching them, you can remember them automatically. That's the only option. So this is the static variable syntax, and this is the non-static variable syntax. So here also, access modifier is default. Directly I'm starting with the data type. That means the data type before nothing is there. So that means it's a default access modifier. So then variable name is F, and assignment operator, and value is 3.45 F. So all this I can use in the same package where this test class is created. That package only I can access, not outside the package. That is what this default access modifier means. Any questions? Okay. Let's move on to the private access modifier. So private, the meaning itself telling. A private means a private access modifier is applied only on variables, constructors, and methods only. Only these things you can declare as a private. So they can't be accessed outside of the class. So if you declare method, variable, and constructor as a private, you can use them in the same class, not outside the class. That's the private means. Private stops complete permissions for anybody else. So within the same class you can use.
Default also is the same, right? Ramesh?
No. Within the package, within the package. So first you should know what is a package. So Rajeshwari and Bhargavi, can you tell me what is meant by package? No answer, huh? Rajeshwari?
A group of similar kind of classes, interfaces, and sub-packages are called packages.
That's what it. So that means package inside you have so many classes you can create. Any class you can use that default class in that package. Like a Wi-Fi, sir, your home. Wi-Fi, you all your team, all your home members, they can access Wi-Fi. Not outside the people, right?
That's right.
That's the same here. Yeah, I given even Facebook example, real-time example.
Got
Friends, if you select friends is the default access modifier, they set it. Only the status can be seen by your friends only, not friends of friends. Like Wi-Fi.
That's right.
Only your home can access your Wi-Fi, not others. So private means this is even nobody else. Only in the same class members can be declared as a private. only that class only you can use those members. That means
Within the
if you
class.
want more sensitive data is there inside the class, you will declare this private. You don't
Got it.
want to show anything for even other person also, other class also. Then you will declare all that class members as a private.
Got it. Got it.
That's the private means. They cannot be accessed outside the class. Even within the same package also, even other class also, this test one, both are in the same package. Even though if you declare test class members private, you cannot access them in the test one class. Private means completely stops the accessibility to others. That's the private. See here. Class cannot be declared as a private. I already mentioned here very clearly by saying that. See, it's a disabled. So this private and protected is not applicable for the class. So if you make the status visible only for me, no one can see this status except you. Okay, so that's the only me means. That means they use a private access modifier. See that? So class data, that means what type of class is this? What type of access modifier used for class?
Default.
Default. We used a default. Then for this variable, what is the access modifier we used?
Private.
Private. That means this name can be used in outside the class?
No.
No, we cannot use. Private means this name you cannot use. If you try to use, see, I'm trying to use in the main class. D dot I'm accessing. So this name with a dot variable, and it is, I just assigned a value, but when you execute this code, and it will throw error like this. So name has a private access modifier in data class, so you cannot access. It will throw error. First of all, it will throw compile time error here, because this doesn't have a permission to use in the another class. Who is stopping that? This private keyword is stopping the visibility of name. That's the private. So, are you clear? See, a variable I declared private, method I declared private. So don't worry how to create methods. I'll tell you all those in detail. So I'm going to give in detailed description tomorrow about the methods also. So the syntaxes I will give. Protected access mode. This topic is very, very important. Please pay attention to this topic. So protected access modifier. When methods, constructors, and data members are declared as a protected, we can access them within the same package as well as from subclasses. There is a inheritance concept. Inheritance means you can access the parent class properties in the child class. That means parent properties can be used in the child class. So that is the inheritance, we call that. So that inherited classes can access these protected variables. That's the inheritance means. So protected is, you have a keyword here. See, this is similar to default only, but little bit, but not entire. So till this spot is default, but default you don't have a keyword, right? For protected you have a keyword. And extra functionality for this protected is even outside package also. If there is an inheritance in the child class and parent class inheritance, And there also you can access these protected variables, methods, and constructors. That's the protected means. If you make visible for friends or friends, then your status will be visible for your friends and your friends' friends also. Not everyone on the Facebook. So that's the protected access modifier where you can access. So you need to remember for every modifier, 2 points. Which entities you can declare as a specific modifier and where you can access them. These 2 points important. And so if you know this example, you can give that example also. See, protected void display. This display method is a protected access modifier. Now see, class dog child class extends animal. So this is called inheritance. This is called inheritance. So now animal class display method I want to access here. See, now I can access a dog. I'm creating object. So object reference dot display method. This is accessible because you applied inheritance. So in the child class, you can access protected members here. So that's the inheritance means. And when you, this is the only for protected keyword, you have that permission. And even public also, highest permission is there for public, then protected, then default, then private. That's the, so scope visibility. So that's all about, see here I have given very clearly the diagram. Yeah, any questions?
Consider there were package 1 and package 2. Modifier given as a like protected modifier we can use. In
Okay.
that, there is a class. In the package 1, there is a class, and in package there is another class. In package 2, if a class extends the first package class, even that protected member can be accessed in the second one.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can access.
Okay.
You can access. Without inheritance, you cannot access again. Okay.
That means that was extended. Then only we can use. So
Then only you
should
can
be
use.
in package, right? But last sentence represents the subclasses means sure
Yeah.
it should be inherited.
Inherited.
Oh, okay.
Without inheritance, not possible. Even another package also.
Okay. It's like some very keynote we need to notify.
Yeah, right. You raised a very good point and a good explanation for others also. Okay, thank you. So that's we are going to see that when inheritance comes. Okay, I'll show you that. So that's the, so this diagram also you can just go through.
One sec, Ramesh. Please go up there. If you see the first class animal, right? I like you are extending this animal in the second class dog. Okay. So when you extend that, you will be able to call the variables which are there in animal.
Not only variables, methods, variables,
Methods,
constructors,
variables,
everything.
Anything you should be able to call